Hey guys, it's the Storm Prince here. Okay, quick question. Do you like being people's faces in with huge flying archangels and giant fish, lizard, monster things? Do you like Jace? Or do you like getting huge value from the cards and spells that you play? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then boy do I have a deck for you. Okay guys, so today we're going to be looking at a deck that took Standard by storm. Bant Company in just a few days shot up to the most played deck in Standard. That's a pretty big share for one deck. Let's quickly go over Daniel Fournier's, sorry if I mispronounced that, deck list, which he took to a second place finish at the Star City Games Open in Columbus. Okay, so the first creature in this deck is Dustwalk Recruiter. Remember when I talked about value? Yeah, this guy's got value. A common thing that you can do with this guy is preferably you play him on turn 2, and then the next turn you activate his ability, get some card advantage, and then he flips, making all your creatures cost 1 less. Talk about value, right? Okay, now the next creature in this deck, he really needs no introduction. Of course, I'm talking about Jace, Vryn's Prodigy. Okay, so I'm not going to waste your time by telling you how amazing Jace is and all the crazy things that he's done, because we've seen Jace in action by now. We all know what he does. He's amazing, right? But, however, I will tell you exactly what makes him good in this deck, because in a creature beatdown deck, he might seem like a weird inclusion. First off, can we be real? Card advantage is like one of the best things in Magic, right? And who doesn't love the words draw a card? That's like the 3 best terms in Magic. So what Jace allows you to do is to keep the value train rolling, and with 25 lands in this deck, you'll have a bunch of easy targets to discard to his ability. Oh, by the way, the deck also runs Ojutai's Command. So, pitching one of your 12 2-drops to it isn't too bad either. Also, flipping Chase allows you to flashback all your commands, your Dramokas and your Ojutai's commands, and you can also flashback Collected Company. It's just so much value. So our last 2-drop in the deck is Sylvan Advocate, a personal favorite of mine. This guy is just so sweet. I mean, he's the main reason why we're running 4 Lumbering Falls main board. Having a 2-3 Vigilance body as early as turn 2 is really helpful. It allows you to both play offense and defense pretty effectively. Now, late game, this beast of a card becomes a 4/5 with Vigilance. A 4/5 with Vigilance for 2 mana in Standard. Oh, and did I forget to mention that when you have 6 or more lands, he also makes all your lands +2/+2? Looking at you, Lumbering Falls. Because of all this, top decking Sylvan Advocate late game, we're perfectly fine with that. The best part about this card is with our 4 Lumbering Falls, we get 5/5s. That's right, you heard me right. 5/5 creatures, man lands to beat people's faces in. Did I mention they have hexproof? Yeah, good luck dealing with that. Bounding Crazies is our first 3-drop in the deck, and boy does he pull double duty in this deck. One of the best things that you can do is flash him in before blocks for a surprise blocker and get a free kill spell out of him. Also, a pretty sweet interaction between him is you can flash him in at the end of their turn, and you can tap Jace for an additional loot effect, which is really great. Value Fish Lizard for the win. Now, our 2 of in terms of the 3-drop slots is Nissa Vastworth Seer. She is legendary, so we can't run all 4, but when it comes to value, Nissa's your girl. She helps us out early game by fixing our mana by giving us basic forests, as well as late game, she becomes a value engine of her own by drawing us cards or giving us free land drops. Oh, and she also makes a 4/4 legendary token to protect her. Or us. Reflector Mage is our main form of removal in this deck. This guy is super frustrating, and he can create huge tempo swings in our favor. Tireless Tracker is our last 3-drop in the deck. He's a new addition from Shadows over Innistrad, but boy does he do work. With so many lands in our deck, it'll be really easy to activate his Persuado landfall type ability, and late game we can cash in those sweet clues for some even sweeter card draw. Our last creature in this deck is Archangel Avacyn, a 2-of. This card is just insane. She can win the game all on her own. Oh, you full swung at me? Boom! Surprise Angel. Block and kill all your creatures? GG. Probably one of the best features about this card though is the fact that she can save your other creatures from kill spells and board wipes like Plowing Outburst. Okay, processing something really quick. Just make sure you don't flash her in response to Languish or Descend Upon the Sinful, because there's no coming back from that. There's only 8 spells in the deck because we want to try to hit off Collected Company as much as possible. We have 3 Dramokas commands. This is our Swiss Army knife in the deck. This allows us to fight other creatures, blank fiery impulses, and make them sack enchantments. It's a great card, trust me. Next, we have 4 Collected Company, the namesake of the deck. This card is our main value engine in the deck. It allows huge tempo swings in our favor, run no less than 4. Last spell in the deck is Ojutai's Command. This card is great for us because it allows us to bring back our Jaces and Sylvan Advocates, or you can just draw a card and gain some life at the end of an opponent's turn. It's basically just more value. For the land base, we have 3 Canopy Vista, 4 Evolving Wilds, 3 Forests, 1 Fortified Village, 2 Island, 4 Lumbering Falls, 3 Plains, 1 Port Town, and 4 Prairie Stream. Now, we won't really go over the sideboard too much because honestly, your sideboard should depend on your meta and what you play against, but I'll name a few cards that are really good in this deck. Clipwings is really good for dealing with opponents opposing Archangel Abyssins. Decoration Stone is really useful when you need to deal with bigger creatures like Thought Not Seer and Reality Smasher. And if you're going against a removal heavy deck like White-Black Control, then you can bring in Dragonlord Ochitai. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering, how should I play this deck? Well, basically, you're a value deck, so you just try to use your mana as efficiently as possible and gain advantages through all sorts of value cards until eventually you win the game. You do this by deploying a bunch of early game value threats and then eventually flooding the board with all your value creatures. Basically, what you're trying to do is drown your opponent in so much value and then taking the victory out of their cold, salty hands. Just make sure you play around sweepers like Languish and Descend Upon the Sinful because they can really blow you out. A strength of this deck is it's really hard to run out of gas because of all the value creatures and card advantage that you get to generate. Just focus on gaining advantages whenever you can, and eventually you'll bring home that sweet, sweet victory. Now, the two biggest downsides to this deck is the huge price and the fact that a well-timed board wipe can potentially blow you out. The deck is roughly $760, give or take, which can be really steep for some people, especially for a format like Standard. I mean, you could buy a modern deck for that much. Now, if you're looking to beat this new menace of Standard, you have really two options. You can either try to race them by flooding the board and dropping a bunch of early game threats, or you can play creatures that are just a lot bigger than theirs, like Thought Not Seer and Reality Smasher. Now, if you're looking to take the control route, I recommend Languish or Descend Upon the Sinful. These can create huge tempo swings in your favor. At the deck's core, it's a value deck, so the best way to beat them is to either stop their value engine or grind them out to the point of no return. So, as a quick recap, play value creatures, gain advantages whenever you can, play around enemy sweepers, and if you're trying to beat them, race them or blow up their field. Oh, and be prepared to spend a lot of money if you're looking to build this deck. Thanks so much guys for watching my first video, I really hope you enjoyed it. Wait, don't click off yet. I have a poll at the end of the video where you can cast your vote and help us with future videos. I'll have polls like this at the end of every single one of our videos. Deuces. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, then why not hit that subscribe button? It's right there, and all it takes is just one click. Also, if you like these type of videos, leave a like. It helps me out a lot. Click the annotation around the name to cast your vote now. Thanks again.